folk, which is the people. We had rations, and very scarce rations, but we did have something to eat. But once that stopped, once they had to go backwards, and of course we still got nothing but the best. We just did what to a ship, the English ship in the Channel and so on. They had U-boats all over the Baltic Sea and the North Sea. We got to hear that never that the Germans had to withdraw. I had an uncle and a father who walked from Russia to Germany. Somehow my father always said, nothing's going to happen to me. He was very thin here, and his other grandfather was thin also. So he's got genes of both the older men. Yeah, this one day.
I'm made of old man.
Old man, that's all right.
Well,
stuff.
they knew what they were doing at the time, although my father was a kind of schwere Nöter, too. He had eyes. A schwere Nöter is like a, what was it Bob said his mother called her husband? Woman skirt chaser, what is it they call it?
Oh, this
Womanizer.
Womanizer.
Oh, yes, he was. And when I got to be old enough, suddenly it changed. My mama was everything, and he has lost that much. There was not a toy that came out that he wouldn't, when I was in the streets playing with other children, he had a whistle. And I heard that 2 blocks away, and boy, when I heard that, I ran. And all it was, he looked out of the 3rd-story window, made sure, okay, I'm going to send something down. He had something small in his hand, wrapped it in a piece of paper and sent it down. Coins to buy the same thing that the other kids had.
Aww.
I didn't even have to ask. So he was really actually spoiling me.
no kidding.
I realized that I had it better than many of the others. My mother could sew. I had better clothing that way. But to get to the Green Bucket, when it got to be really bad, you've seen on those pictures, I don't know if you have, the Neckar River has ships on it, tourists for tourists. And often my father would play there. As a matter of fact, there is a picture on the dresser up there where he's, I think he's playing an accordion. And they would have a little bit of mustard for the guests, which came in little green buckets. So they said to my mother, who was visiting there, would you like to have one? Sure, who didn't like a little green bucket? So she brought it home. It turned out to be my favorite. I brought 2 over here. One is filled with water under there. For 37 years, that water, I don't want to open it for fear of what it might
Yeah,
smell
what
like.
might be in there? That's some creature.
No,
shoot.
I don't know if water can rot. You know, so
No.
Something happens.
Anyway.
but,
Unless something got into the water.
yeah.
well,
Now,
might be a good bucket.
the Neckar River was the thing to transport coal, salt, not much oil, anything heavy. And one day I lived straight across from the river. All I had to do is go down maybe 200 yards and I was right at the river. And when I was small, other 6, 7, 8-year-olds would be hanging out by the boathouse, because the boathouse, especially in the summertime, had rich Americans coming who visited their sons and daughters at the university. And they wanted to explore the river in a boat, a rowboat, a paddle boat, you name it, all kinds of them. And we kids would fight. Who was the one who got the honor to run way over there, get the boat and bring it around to these rich Americans? Then one of them asked me, they were all wealthy. There wasn't the one who was just average. It was next to our house was a small factory that made lemonades and Coca-Cola they sold too. Coca-Cola was much too expensive for most of us. But they did, and they would probably give me 50 cents for it, and it only cost maybe 5 cents less. I got those 5 cents afterwards. So I ran up there, and I ran back. I was always in a hurry. Anyway, one fine day, one of the kids, we must have been about 10 at least by then, 11, or maybe 12 even. They scuttled a box. And there's something in it. I said, something in it? I don't care what's in it. I want to go and see if I can exchange something for whatever's in it. So I went, and someone had found a board long enough to reach from the shore to that scuttled thing that was all the way covered. And top of it had kind of a rounded top, was open, and I could see a greenish yellow mass of something. I didn't know what it was. So I said, well, whatever it is, I need something to put it into. I run home and get my little green bucket and go down. Now here I am with empty hands. I don't know what that stuff is. But it was greasy as can be. And my hands were nice and smooth afterwards. I don't know to this day what I have brought home, but it was greasy. I think it was axle grease.
Oh.
And
That's
we
lotion
had the best potato pancakes you ever ate. We had nothing to eat.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
have
We had
potatoes.
potatoes.
if it works.
And my Tante Kata, she would stand there and grate everyone. Sometimes there'd be a little blood, you know, if she hurt herself.
Too much grating, yeah,
Yeah.
in there.
So anyway, I don't know what it was. But today, everybody would say, you poisoned yourself.
With the best
And-
potato pancakes you ever had.
Yeah. We did have salt and potatoes,
Mhm.
but we didn't have enough fire to put
Yeah.
under to.
Huh.
But what that stuff was, to this day, Bob even tells it to people. Greenish yellow.
Greenish yellow, huh?
And I
Yeah.
remember stroking my hands against the
Like
top
that.
of it. No, I
You were
may as
just
well have gold
fascinated.
in my hands. So
Huh.
gold you couldn't eat, but that probably. So Tante Kata happened to be there, and right away
Huh.
she gets the potatoes out and grates them, put a little salt in it. We didn't have an egg. There should be an egg in it. I had planned on making potato pancakes while you're here, but you have so much stuff to eat, there's no time for dumped noodle.
I
No time,
know.
there's no appetite for it.
Yeah.
Well, maybe next time.
Potato pancakes are easily made, especially if you have a thing there. Mine doesn't work right anymore. I got to push buttons, go on a little more. And I add an egg and maybe a spoonful of flour to help bind them. And I like onions. I like a lot of onions. I put them in first with the egg, and then come the potatoes. And I grate them in there, and then you put them in a pan. And now I have this griddle, which I can make maybe 4 or 5 longer, elongated ones. And everyone who's tasted them, they like them. So you could taste and see if you could do your own touch to it.
We must get some axle grease tonight.
Yes,
We make,
don't forget the action.
I'm into it. Why not?
Well, maybe the next time we come will be turkey season, which should be like late April, early May.
Oh.
And we can do some turkey hunting.
I'm sure it's beautiful.
And it'll be
Well-
much better weather.
From what Bob tells me, all of you could shoot a turkey.
Yeah,
Evidently,
he
yes.
told me that. I don't know. It's my first time ever shooting a rifle, so
Well,
I
you-
was just happy to get them all on the
Yes.
target.
People here shoot with a shotgun.
Mhm.
So you have a turkey full of pellets. I don't understand that.
No,
A
me
hunter
neither.
should be good enough to hit the darn
One
thing
and
with
done.
one. And he hits them in
Yeah.
the neck.
When we eat halibut up in Alaska, you find it full of pellets too up in
Yes.
the meat because people